안녕하십니까. 유엔미래 포럼 박용숙입니다. 박용숙의 미래TV 오늘은 놀라운 현상을 보여드리겠습니다. 채널1.ai에 치고 들어가면 채널1 뉴스인데 전부 다 AI가 생성하는 뉴스입니다. AI 뉴스인데 앵커들이 전부 지금 여기 보이는 이 여성도 AI 뉴스를 하는 AI입니다. 사람이 아니고요. AI. 여기 AI 뉴스에 앵커들이 한 7, 8명이 있는데 전부 AI예요. 사람이 아니에요. 그리고 여러 곳에서 뉴스를 그죠? 종합해 와서 챗GPT 같이 종합해 와서 여기에서 보여주고 특히 촬영할 필요가 없고요. 여러 가지 영상들을 가져와서 자기들이 편집을 해서 자기들이 원하는 그 앵커 멘트에 따라서 영상도 편집을 자동으로 하는 거예요. 이제 방송국이 필요가 없어지는 시대가 되었습니다. 예, 이렇게 진행이 되는 것을 한번 보여드릴게요.
Today you'll witness AI-generated stories and headlines, captivating visuals and data-driven insights. From global news to finance to entertainment, we'll show you how technology enables us to bring you a global perspective 24/7, right from the heart of our AI.
이 뉴스는요, 24일 일주일 내내 24시간 계속해서 방송합니다. 이 사람도 AI예요. 사람이 아니고.
But everything you'll see on Channel 1 relies on trusted sources and fact-checking and uses AI to give you news the way you want it, personalized,
AI를
localized,
사용해서
and distilled. Through it
뉴스를
all, our
만듭니다.
mission is to provide you with accurate, unbiased, and trustworthy news.
신뢰할 수 있는 뉴스를 제공한다.
But journalism's core values of integrity and accountability are at the heart of everything we do.
Today we're going to show off some of the technology we're using to build Channel 1. We'll show you how AI powers and empowers our newsroom to deliver journalism that's fast, trustworthy, and accurate. Let's start with our reporters. You can hear us and see our lips moving. But no one was recorded saying what we're all saying. I'm powered by
입이
sophisticated
정확하죠.
systems behind the scenes.
AI입니다.
And I can speak in any language. Για παράδειγμα, αυτή τη στιγμή μιλάω στα ελληνικά. O kung pinapanood mo
여러
ako mula sa Maynila, marunong
언어를
ako
할 수
magsalita ng
있어요.
Filipino. எனக்கும் தமிழ் பேசத் தெரியும் என்று நீங்கள் யூகித்திருக்க மாட்டீர்கள் என்று நான் நம்புகிறேன். In fact, you can see even more language samples on our website. Channel 1's anchors can even be completely generated to
8명
have
있네,
their own
그죠?
personality.
전부 다 AI입니다.
And what is AI?
이 사람도 AI.
First, here's what it's not. It's not fake news.
페이크 뉴스가 아니다. 아주 신뢰할 수 있는 뉴스입니다.
Our system relies only on trusted news sources to bring together the best journalism on any topic from around
뉴스 소스를 갖다가 AI가 편집하고 기사를 쓰는 겁니다.
in a number of other ways. For example, thanks to our translation capabilities, we can feature
통역이요. 얼마든지 모든 언어를 통역 다 합니다.
to get you closer to a particular story.
In other cases, it's even possible to create footage of events where cameras were not able to capture the action. It's the same way that a courtroom sketch is not a literal depiction of actual events, but can still provide
법정에서
or nuance.
하는 그 사진을 찍지를 못해요. 그죠? 그래서 그림으로 그리잖아요. 법정 뉴스도 다 우리는 만들어서 실제 모양으로 보여드려요.
Clearly indicate the nature of the alteration. Human editors and producers are also involved in checking the stories for accuracy.
그리고 사람이 완전히 없는 건 아니고 사람이 팩트를 체크합니다.
Channel 1 is just to show you. Right now we're going to jump into a program featuring a selection of stories all produced with the help of AI.
예, AI가
Please enjoy the world's first look.
뉴스를 진행합니다.
This is Channel 1.
Military operations against Hamas by Israeli Defense Forces continue in Gaza, with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu rejecting the idea of a ceasefire in Gaza unless hostages are released. This week, the
예,
White House said
이스라엘하고
Israel has agreed to
가자에서의
4-hour daily
전쟁
pauses of operations
이야기를
in order
하죠.
to allow people to flee along
이앵커가 계속
humanitarian
이야기를
corridors.
합니다.
Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky urged his nation's people to stay focused and strong in the face of the protracted war with Russia.
예,
He did so while
우크라이나
thanking
전쟁
allies for their
이야기
ongoing
또
support in
하죠.
campaigning for Ukraine's accession to the European Union. Zelensky's comments come as the U.S. Congress disagrees over passing a new aid package, and
예.
Ukraine is struggling to make military and
우크라이나의
diplomatic gains. It appears
미국의
that allies
물자
are growing weary
지원이
of the war.
중단되었죠.
The United States Department of Labor released its jobs report this week. The numbers were
고용
mixed,
보고서가
with 217,000
나왔는데
initial jobless
이렇게
claims,
여러
which was
가지
1,000
다양한
fewer than
종류의
expected.
뉴스를
Meanwhile,
한 사람이 하는 거예요. 우리는 기자가 누구누구 MBC 기자였습니다. 이렇게 얘기하잖아요. 그 시간이 우리가 세이브하는 거죠. 한 사람이 여러 종류의 기사를 쫙 다 읽어요. 그래미 수상 하는 것도 이야기하고. 그러니까 스포츠 뉴스까지 여기서 다 해요, 그냥.
You ready to see the results of the mission? Take a peek.
It looks like a jumble of dust and rubble, but it might just hold some of the secrets to life on Earth. NASA revealed the first asteroid samples ever returned by a U.S. mission. The OSIRIS-REx craft was launched in 2016 to collect the samples from a carbon-rich asteroid called Bennu, almost 60 million miles away. That payload was returned to Earth in a sealed capsule during a recent flyby.
It just stuck the landing, it landed and didn't move.
The SRC has been delivered to the clean room facility.
So right now we have this incredible view of the sample into the tag set. We're looking into the part that touched the asteroid Bennu.
Researchers say the samples could give us insight into the dawn of the solar system.
And they contain carbon. And you could see the carbon there.
The asteroid samples also contain water in the form of water-bearing
네,
clay
물이
minerals.
있대네,
The
그죠?
study of which was a main priority of the $1 billion
우주에서
7-year
가지고 온
mission.
샘플에서 물이 나왔답니다. 이렇게 유명 인사 인터뷰하는 것도 자연스럽게
Back in
나오고요.
2020, the team suffered a setback when the lid on the collection container failed.
이 기자가
A handful of small
스포츠
pebbles
뉴스에서
prevented a
나사
proper
뉴스에서
seal, which caused many of the
모든
samples to
뉴스를
float
다
off into space.
지나가는 거죠.
Nevertheless,
하는 겁니다.
The materials that made the return trip to Earth are priceless. Once the samples are archived, they will be divided up among researchers around the world for further study. NASA will also retain samples for future analysis when better technology becomes available.
왼쪽에 별이 있고 1 있죠. 그 채널 1이라는 겁니다. 채널 1은 AI가 만드는
NASA's
AI
latest
방송국입니다.
asteroid chasing mission is already on its way into space, headed toward a rare asteroid made of metal called Psyche.
Why are we doing this? Because at NASA, we are trying to find out who we are. What is our place in this vastness called the universe?
Parts of Europe are still reeling from Storm Kira
예.
after record-breaking winds swept through France and much
유럽의
of the western
태풍,
part of the continent.
허리케인
Storm
이
Kira
이야기를
arrived
하는
less than 2
앵커가
weeks after
나왔습니다.
Storm
기자가
February brought similar strong winds, heavy rainfall, and flash flooding to parts of northern Europe. And here's something you'll see exclusively on Channel 1. Let's use our AI translation technology to take you closer to the story and help you understand the
놀라워요.
power of this storm.
AI가 불어하는 남자 이야기를 곧장 영어로 바꿔요. 이 남자 불어하거든요.
Here's the original footage that would traditionally only air to French-speaking audiences.
Vers 2h du matin, j'ai entendu un gros bruit, je me suis levé. J'ai vu que ça commençait, son toit commençait à se surélever. Et puis une demi-heure après, tout est parti en vrac, quoi. Ça s'est éparpillé, quoi. Vous voyez là, j'avais mis des grosses pierres là. Il y avait 4 grosses pierres comme
천정이
ça sur le
날아갔고
toit,
천정에
et
있던
là,
이렇게
ça a
큰
fait
무거운
des
그죠
bruits,
돌도
des
떨어졌다고
toits,
합니다.
And now, experience that same clip, but in English.
영어로 이제 똑같은 목소리로 하는 거예요.
So I got up from my bed. I looked outside and noticed that his roof was beginning to lift up into the air.
지붕이 날아갔다.
After 30 minutes, everything went crazy. It scattered all over the place.
지붕이 날아가고
Placed big stones There were 4
이렇게
big stones like that on the roof. And it still
지붕에 있던
managed to
4개의
lift the
그죠
roof along
큰
with the stone.
락이 떨어졌답니다.
Recent weeks have seen a number of extreme weather events happening around the globe. In late October, Hurricane Otis wreaked havoc in Acapulco, the first time in history that a storm in the eastern Pacific remained a Category 5 hurricane after making landfall. At the same time, tropical cyclone Tej delivered extreme rainfall to parts of Oman and Yemen, dumping more than 17 inches, or the equivalent of more than 5 years' worth of rain for the region in just 24 hours. However, progress on adapting to climate change has actually been slowing down.
AI가 AI 기자가 하니까 누구누구입니다. MBC 누구누구, KBS의 무슨 기자입니다. 이런 소리가 없으니까 굉장히 깨끗하고 짧아요. 뉴스가 그죠? 정리가 되어 있고.
$366 billion per year. That's 10 to 18 times as much as current spending, with developing countries being most vulnerable to climate disasters. Gavin Schmidt, director of NASA's Goddard Institute for Space Studies, told the PBS NewsHour that as the pace of global climate change increases, so will the increased frequency of these weather events.
But what we're seeing now is that those things that were 1 in 100-year events are now 1 in 50-year, 1 in 30-year, once a decade, and soon, conceivably, could be an every year or an every couple of year event. And that's the difference. The frequency and intensity of these features is increasing, and we can see that in the statistics around the globe.
The report urges investment and adaptation in order to close the finance gap. If that doesn't happen, says Gavin Schmidt, we may be headed towards a point of no return for the climate, even if we aren't there quite yet. You're watching Channel 1.
기후위기 이야기했고, 전쟁, FBI 체포.
Special agents, intelligence experts, and victim specialists were dispatched to field offices in 10 states to help solve violent crimes and cold cases impacting Native Americans. The initiative, which the Bureau has dubbed Operation Not Forgotten, is an effort to tackle more than 200 cases involving violence primarily against women and children.
이런 AI 앵커들이 앉아서도 하고 서서도 하고 그죠? 아유 정말 멋집니다.
FBI personnel resulted in 40 arrest and search operations, as well as the ability to identify victims of crime.
AI가 기사를 쓰고 기사에 맞는 후티지 영상을 가지고 와서 편집까지 하고 입술이 그죠? 정확하게 맞죠. 입술이 정확하게 맞아 들어가요. AI 같지 않아요. 실제 사람 같아요. 이 채널 1은 지금 현재 당장 서비스하는 게 아니고 내년부터 서비스에 들어간답니다.
Phoenix Supervisory Special Agent Jerry Grambo says for many agents, working on tribal land can be difficult with its own particular set of challenges.
So the difference is you need to not only be trained in how to do evidence processing, how to remain tactical in a very remote environment. You need to be able to understand the nuances of how to go from conducting a homicide interview all the way to knowing how to use the environment to your advantage.
Both federal and tribal police officials say they hope the effort will increase the number of tips and leads from members of indigenous communities who may not be comfortable talking to law enforcement.
My hopes for this program going forward are that it happens on an annual basis and that we continue to grow this program. And by doing that, we can solicit feedback after each year to see whether we need to tweak it, expand it, if there's any other entities that need to be invited to this. And it's designed to be scalable and flexible so that we can meet the needs of our agents.
Despite any challenges, the FBI says it will continue to devote resources to investigations on tribal lands.
네. 여기 요 기자는 조금 그죠? AI 같네. 조금 사람 같지 않고 AI 같이 보여요. BMW.
Chinese technology company XPeng has demonstrated a prototype flying car.
네, 그죠?
To actually make it to market is
테슬라도
Tesla's Cybertruck. Years after its bumpy
테슬라
announcement in
사이버트럭.
2019.
Oh my God. Well, maybe that was a little too hard.
Delivery on the sci-fi styled pickup begins on November 30th. But how does the public feel about the design? Well, Channel 1 has developed a unique new way to gauge sentiment, and it leverages our AI's ability to read
채널
and
1
analyze data almost instantly.
여기 테슬라의 사이버 트럭을 뉴스를 보여주면 밑에 댓글이 달려요. 그 댓글에서 좋아요, 나빠요, 싫어요, 뭐 온갖 거를 그대로 그죠? 분석을 해가지고 뉴스에서 아예 보여줘요.
And recently dropped over 10% in a single trading day, following a Q3 earnings call that Wedbush's Dan Ives tweeted was a mini disaster. But CEO Elon Musk continues to bet that the best path forward for the tech-driven automaker is to innovate. Stay synced with Channel 1 for ongoing business
일론 머스크네요, 그죠? 네.
At Channel 1, we know great stories come
이제
in all
스포츠까지
shapes and sizes.
합니다.
Here are a few on the lighter side.
네. 이 앵커는 AI는 서서 합니다. 서서 뉴스를 하네요. 그죠? 앉아서 하는 사람, 서서 하는 사람.
Disconnected cell phone, dial the police for a very specific, not exactly life-threatening situation.
You call them to give them a hug.
This heartwarming exchange was captured by body camera and home security camera.
911을 아이가 전화를 했어요. 왜 전화를 했느냐? 허그를 원한답니다. 그래서 경찰 아저씨가 와가지고 안아주는 거예요. 허그 해주고 그런 장난 하지 말라고 합니다. 오클라호마에서 아이가 그죠? 스피드 한다고 2살짜리 폴리스가 그죠? 불러가지고 오히려 아이스크림을 주네 그죠?
Which recently welcomed a brand new baby emperor penguin, the first one of its species to be born there since 2010. SeaWorld staff report that the little one is growing steadily on her diet of fish and fish milkshakes, and are proud to say their facility is the only zoo in the Western
밀크쉐이크를
Hemisphere where
먹고
these endangered animals can be found.
어머나 펭귄 너무 이쁘다
While
그죠?
baby animals are pretty much always cute, the full-grown ones sometimes cause a bit of trouble. Check out what happened to Australian surfer Jason Breen when he encountered a whale on the open ocean.
오
Breen told local
고래하고
media that he
부딪혔어요
feared for his
그죠?
life when the animal dragged him down by the board leash and
호주
saying,
사람입니다.
quote, the whole thing was unusual, one in a million. It's a massive
wow.
ocean and there was a guy on a headland who just happened to be filming by coincidence. Breen was uninjured
촬영을
and
하고
safely
있었기
returned to
때문에
shore. You never know when something amazing
고래하고
happens
부딪히는
right
걸
where you're
찍었어요.
standing. Have you caught a one in a million moment on video? Let us know.
채널 1
The holidays are nearly upon us, and for a look at what's coming to movie theaters this season, here's our film critic.
AI입니다. AI.
Oliver!
Hi.
Oliver, what's coming to movie theaters this season?
Oh, right. Thanks. So think about it. We spend the majority of our days with our heads down staring at tiny screens alone. Isn't it about time we took a break from that and went back to staring at big screens with other people? That's right. It's time to look up from your phone, step outside, breathe some fresh air, then get in your car and drive to a dark movie theater because these December movie releases need to be seen as big as possible.
When I am performing, I am nothing but free.
First up, every concert needs a screaming crowd, and a great concert film deserves that same energy. Right off the mind-boggling success of Taylor Swift's Eras Tour comes another live experience from a true artist. Beyoncé brings her Renaissance tour to theaters with a documentary concert film that follows the creation of her critically acclaimed studio and visual album and takes fans along on the follow-up tour. This is not one to watch in your living room. Get out and dance in the aisles when Renaissance, a film by Beyoncé, hits theaters December 1st. You know, gotta say, I love the Eras Tour film. I slept outside the night before I saw it. Not to get tickets. My girlfriend kicked me out. Things are kind of rough right now. Anyway, the signature sumptuous visuals of Studio Ghibli have brought joy to movie lovers of all ages. And now, legendary director Hayao Miyazaki returns with his first film in 10 years.
A lot of strange things happen in this place.
Touching and personal tale about a 12-year-old boy, Mahito, who is sent away to live with his aunt after his mother is tragically killed in a Whoa, that got grim. Okay, when Mahito starts noticing a strange heron around the village, it leads him into a mysterious wonderland shared by the living and the
마히토의
dead. Just announced English cast
모험이네요,
Christian
그죠?
Bale, Dave Bautista, Gemma Chan, and Willem Dafoe.
애니메이션
Boy and the
영화
Heron. In
나왔답니다.
theaters in both English and Japanese, December 8th. 映画でお会いしましょう. But don't fill up on childlike wonder just yet. Save some room for dessert when Wonka premieres December 15th.
What's happening? Ooh, what's a chocolate that makes it fly?
A prequel to the original Roald Dahl novel and its subsequent film adaptations, Wonka tells the origin story of the eccentric candy maker, played by Timothée Chalamet. The cast also features newcomer Kala Lane alongside an ensemble of heavy hitters like Olivia Colman, Hugh Grant, Sally Hawkins, and Rowan Atkinson. So go stuff your eyes and your stomach at Wonka. And don't forget to bring along all your leftover
영화 리뷰 잘하네요.
You're really not supposed to bring food in from outside.
Okay, Narc.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Folks, you work hard. Let someone else save the world for once with Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Jason Momoa returns as the fishy hero.
워너 브라더스 영화 소개합니다.
There's some kind of ancient evil, I think? I don't know. I'm sure there's more to it, but does it really matter? Sometimes, you just want to root for the good guys and watch them beat up the bad guys. Dive into a good time and cheer in the theaters when Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom splashes on shore December 20th. And finally, Christmas Day brings the Tony Award-winning Broadway musical, The Color Purple. The Color Purple follows the tragedies and triumphs of young black women in rural Georgia in the early 1900s.
Let's see this smiling color. Sweet and loving God.
The new musical stars Taraji P. Henson and is produced by Steven Spielberg, Quincy Jones, and Oprah Winfrey. Don't forget to put a fake emotional support animal vest on your regular dogs so you can bring them into the theater to comfort you while you watch The Color Purple. In theaters, this
Color Purple. 스티븐 스필버그 만든 영화죠.
So drop the small screen and check out the big screen this December. Whether it's eye-popping spectacle, crowd-pleasing action, or you just love the sound.
이거 전부 AI가 만든 겁니다. AI가 전부 편집하고 가지고 와서 기사 밑에 글도 쓰고 놀랍습니다. 방송국이 필요 없는 이유입니다.
Thanks for watching the first ever look at Channel 1 News.
채널1 뉴스가 처음으로 만든 뉴스예요.
The launch of our daily news program in countries and languages across the globe. And the full potential of Channel 1 comes with our app. It's a bespoke news experience that learns your preferences and customizes the subjects you're interested in. It'll deliver a personalized version of the news from around the world that you want to see. Taking into account your
원하는
interests,
뉴스만 골라가지고 볼 수도
and
있고요.
location on demand. We
자기
aspire
지역
to
뉴스만
cover
볼
as
수도
many stories
있고요.
and events as possible, and we want to do that by working with trusted news brands. If you'd like to be part of the Channel 1 revolution, talk to us.
채널1 혁명이라고 합니다. 채널1 혁명은 trusted news source니까 뭐 CNN이나 ABC, NBC 뭐 이렇게 trust하는 이런 뉴스에서부터 AI가 전체 뉴스를 가지고 와서 새로 편집하고 새로 쓰는 거예요. 채널1.ai입니다. 정말 재밌네요. 그래서 앞으로 방송국이 왜 필요 없는지 보셨죠? 이제 방송 기자도 필요 없고요. 당연하게 신문은 뭐 옛날에 없어졌고요. 뭐 이런 식으로 방송국에서 기자 또는 뭐 카메라맨, 편집인 전혀 필요가 없습니다.